Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Contest of Speed Tier 2. We're live from a rather damp Hungary for the rerun of round 14 of the championship. Of course, there was a connection issue with Codemasters and PlayStation Network on the day this race was supposed to be run, so we're here now in what would have been the week off for Cos, but you all got lucky. This race is running wild. My name is Dan, I'll be your commentator this evening as per usual, and just to keep things similar, you know, you don't want to rock the boat too much, do we, Matt?
No, we don't. Of course not. I'm here. Woo. Lovely. Beautiful. Yeah. Around this, well, I would like to describe it as a go-kart track, really.
Oh, it's great.
Go-kart track.
Love it.
Nagaditch.
You've wanted to say that all day, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
So Jamie then, the first man out on circuit in the Mercedes.
Quite quick out, actually, so sensing it's going to be a wet quality dry race. But
Well, potentially. Well, we've got everyone out on the intermediates. Wisey Boy has just put the wet tyres on in the pits, so...
Is it really that close to crossover already?
Well, I don't know. This is the thing. If he's played that right and he gets out there quick enough, he might be able to get it just at the point where they're the better tyre than the Inter before the track really starts to deteriorate. But we'll keep an eye out for that.
I can confirm from the Danish contingent, i.e. Dan and Haas, by research, it is going to be a dry race. So most of these guys will have a dry setup as well,
yeah.
Which should hopefully shake up qualifying, because
Should
track
do.
position here is so important.
Yep, definitely one of the hardest tracks to overtake on. It will also shake up the race as well, because normally you've got a couple of outliers. You go softer in qualifying to get themselves ahead of the pack, and that's not going to happen now. Everyone's going to have the free choice of tyre, unless of course it dries out before the end of the session.
So these guys are probably looking to do what, maybe one or two runs on a specific set of tyres. We've already had but no, it's just because everyone's just setting themselves up in each other's space like that.
So,
yeah, so they probably do what, 2 runs maybe on these tyres?
Probably, yeah. Let's ride on board then with Jamie for a hot lap of the Hungarian Grand Prix circuit, the Hungaro ring, through turn 1 then, heavy braking zone, and then wet the back end, starting to step out us a bit as we head towards turn 2. Second heavy braking zone runs wider than you probably would have wanted, but there can be more traction out there. Turn 3, little kink to the right. Now we'll go for the blind, turn 4 at the top of the hill. It's here if he lifts. Obviously he has to dab the brakes being in wet weather, but he kept his foot in through the corner. Turn 5 there, you want to avoid the curb on the inside. Auto spin central.
Already out spinner.
Yeah. One of the Alfa Romeos, I think that's Stumpy. Turn 6 and 7, the chicane. Turn 8, the start of the winding S's. This is turn 10 and 11 now. Normally flat out in the dry, maybe a quick downshift to secure the rear of the car. Turn 12 then. Seeing where Max Verstappen put it in a wall in the real Hungarian Grand Prix. Turn 13, the penultimate corner. And then so much time can be won or lost on the exit here. Good exit there for Jamie. Kept the traction but runs deep on the final corner. Powers for the line. And across it he goes.
Yeah. I was just watching Drace's lap and he's fighting that Haas all the way through the lap from turn 4 all the way through to turn 11. Obviously, well, from what I can see, they're running a full dry setup for qualifying. I'll go to the top of the time sheets.
Could be a temporary measure though. Here comes Dan powering towards the line. Oh, goes second, 26.5 for the Williams. We've got a Ferrari at the back of this. Not having a fun time at all. I think that was Ricky. No, it wasn't. It was Rosa. So while these guys head round, completing their first runs,
wow!
Is that Wisey Boy?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And Trace nearly collected him on the way through. That could have been a
yeah. Right, so the only reason I said is that Wisey boy is because he's gone out on the wet tyre, and the rain seems to have eased up a bit, so it's probably not the right call. So should we do some housekeeping?
We can do, mate.
Yes, let's do housekeeping. So 3 drivers missing tonight. We're missing Sakome in the Ferrari, who's still on his sabbatical. Should be back within the next couple of weeks, we think. We're missing the Wizard in the McLaren, who is still having problems with his living colleagues, we'll say. Acquaintances, yes. And then we're missing Thomas as well in the Mercedes. We've got replacements for the first 2. So Ricky coming up from Tier 3 to cover the Ferrari. And the man we're watching now, Jay Prentice in the McLaren. Standing in again.
Oh, what did he put on in the wall? They are not the right tyres.
No, definitely not. So just looking at the split times then, Dynastics at the top with the 25.8, as we can see. Renault even with a front row lockout at the moment. Jonathan Cox back. Of course, that's the other bit of housekeeping. I knew there's something else. Yeah, Jonathan Cox back after his time away. He does like Hungary, he was telling me. So it's going well for him at the moment. Looking at the sector times then, Dynastics has Sector 1 and Sector 3. Jonathan Cox has Sector 2.
Just done a lap. Who was that? That would have been Titchy, I think. Just seen the times change. Carry on.
Although Arbar's just set a new fastest Sector 2, so let's we'll jump across to him in a moment. We're just on board with Jay Prentice. In fact, Arbar is behind him. Canadians looks to be loving these conditions at the moment.
Interested to see if anyone compromised their setup to possibly gain track advantage.
And Arbar goes quickest, 25.831.
Tight, very tight.
Yeah, Jay Prentice down in 12th. Now we know he's running a lower downforce in the dry than normal.
Down marginally improved. Nearly dropped it. Done a Sergio Perez. In the pit wall. All good.
Yeah.
Also got himself up to 8, Danny. That's,
yeah, he's doing well. The great equaliser for pace. Of course, it can peg some of the quick guys back and boost some of the usually slower ones on. F1 Perez, of course, making his Tier 2 debut in his return, actually, yeah, debut return in the AlphaTauri. Missed last week due to his PlayStation Plus having run out. Classic, yeah. But he's coming around now, I think, to finish his first run, or perhaps gone to his next lap.
I think he's going to start again. Bit of traffic.
Yeah, gets the time on the board though, so he won't be starting at the back unless Wisey Boy and Stumpy can actually improve on his time. Clip the grass on the entry to turn 1, pushes him wide.
Yeah.
But he's still on. I think he's going to go around now. He's taking the RS off, hasn't he? Yeah.
No RS,
so we'll keep an eye on him. Let's go and watch Falk. I've not seen much of Falk.
No, he's currently going to outlap through the middle sector, through the tight and twisty chicane section. Behind
It's Titchy.
It's Titch, but you probably want to back off because I think Titch is just having this as another cooldown lap before he goes again. He's just boosting up the RS, so perhaps needs to give himself enough room.
Horse Falk, another member of IFR, another one of the Danish, yes, the Danish invaders. Although of course we're happy to have you all. So Falk taking a wide entry to the final corner, but that can work in your favour. The back end steps out, though that'll compromise the gain he was going to have on exit. Heading out towards turn 1. Yeah.
So much better on the intermediates.
I mean, we've seen Wisey Boy perform in all conditions before now, but in the wet he has pulled a couple of results out in the past, so we'll see what he can do.
It's strange, he can be up there.
Hmm.
Towards that P5 region, what we've seen so far this season, just not more of a consistent basis that we would, well, obviously he would what we would like.
Yeah.
You know, he's tight on time with work and everything, so it holds him back a bit.
Yeah, cheers, Joel. Yeah, back end stepped out a little bit coming out of turn 4, but he's held the lap together well so far.
Interesting to see who is off there. That is a Ferrari. That'd be Rosalem. It'd be interesting to see if it dries up, Danny. Will it dry up enough? Still looks like it's going to continue light rain throughout the session.
Yeah, I think it'll stay. It's not a track that dries out particularly quickly.
No, although we have a line though. We've got a
We do.
line as we see on screen.
And Falk puts himself P6 with a 26.3. That's a good lap on his first run, so he'll go for a recharge lap now. He might just push again, actually. He's got the charge to do it.
Perez trying to get out of the way. He's got some front wing damage. And again, struggling out there.
Yeah.
Keep that thing in a straight line. Teammate is fast approaching.
Yeah, his teammate's backed out of that lap as well. I think he's run out of fuel, if I'm honest.
No, he's invalidation.
Yeah, he's invalidated the lap, but he's very low on fuel, I think.
Wise boy is pushing again. This is to complete his lap. Looks tidy, I would say. It's more tidy than anything.
That's P11 for Wisey Boy, is that?
Yeah,
that's Stumpy.
Stumpy.
Pirouetting on the start-finish straight.
Oh, hey.
Do 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 do.
And we'll need to come in anyway, so front wing damage.
Yes, he will get another stint out there on the tyres. So obviously, in the wet weather, in qualifying in particular, it can be beneficial to go for 2 or even 3 laps on the one set of tyres, whereas normally in qualifying you do 1 run and then box. The wetter compounds take longer to get up to temperature and wear in compared to the dry. So, Ricky onto slicks.
Brave, I like it. Got nothing to lose, is he ready? Jonathan Cox is marginally up, so too is Dynastics. And this will be for his second lap because he's already done a 25.5.
Yeah, Jonathan Cox.
And Lewis was on the charge as well, from what I saw.
Marginally misses out. Dynastics then improves by 0.02 of a second. No, improves by 65 thousandths, actually 62 split. But takes the middle sector away from Arbar, who's invalidated on his next run.
Caladre is a quarter second up, Danny. Ready?
Ooh.
He's just done sector 1, so if he holds it from here, he's going to put himself into the 25.7 ranges.
He is actually faster than Dynastics was on his quickest run that he's just finished. So it's through sector 1, so we'll see how he goes for the rest of the lap.
Turn 11 is such a tricky corner. How much speed do you dare take through there? Lost half a tempo.
Yeah, and he's lost a 10.5 to Dynastics, but he's still on for P2 at the moment.
Dynastics maybe running a slightly downforce through sector 2. That could be the difference, but
could be.
Later on.
We'll find out. Caladre then powers for the line. Goes second. Yep. Lost a little bit of time in the third sector.
Jonathan Cox once again marginally up in his time. He's going to come into the bits.
So who shall we? Let's go and have a look at Dan. Just going to finish the lap, half a second up at the moment. Jumps up to second, 25.7 for Dan.
see, I don't know if it's raining or not, I can't tell. I think it is still just spitting. Maybe.
Well, let's have a look. You should be able to tell on screen if I hide the UI. You'll be able to see it.
No rain, no
Yeah.
rain. It stopped raining.
Yeah, you'll be able to see it streaking over the top of the halo. Dynastics improves again to a 25.5.
So time should be getting quicker then. No rain on track, clear light. Oh, Andreas will invalidate. Had 2 goes at that turn 4.
I think anybody who doesn't pit in now could be making a mistake. And Perez has retired. Exit of turn 3.
Yeah, that's easy to do.
Yeah, he'll have run a little bit wide, got his rear tyre on the AstroTurf, and then he's just a passenger.
Snap the other way, 1:46 left to go. We don't know what the time is, but I can probably guess by the way Dan's driving around, it's going to be pretty nip and tuck. Harbour and Caledro stayed out, so I suspect Jonathan Cox, interestingly enough, Danny has come back out on another set of intermediates.
Yeah, Ricky's put the inters back on as well, so I don't think it's going to be dry enough for them to get a run in. And Falk cut in the chicane. Oh dear.
Can't do it. Can't do it. Stop doing it.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. No, I can't say that.
No, because then you'll owe a gifted sub.
I don't have that money.
No, I don't have that kind of cash. None of us have that kind of cash, apart from Roland. Roland does.
Well. No need, Spud. No need. No need. I was forgetting about it, and then you just mentioned it.
Dan is in the pits on the soft tyre. Don Armo's in the pits. Don Armo is out on the soft tyre, and he's in the wall straight away. He didn't even make it out of the pit lane. So it's definitely not.
How far are we either ahead or behind?
Whoa! Look at him struggle.
Jamie has improved, and that is up to 5th for Jamie.
Good luck from Jamie. Dynastics out on track at the moment, but Caladre.
Don't know, please. I don't want to see this. Oh, he's already lost front wing, so we won't know. Stumpy is down this time. Joe Prentice has invalidated, but we'll cross the line and have time to go again. Someone has just jumped up. Is it cheating?
I think we're at the crossover point in terms of outright pace. I don't think the track is wet enough for the Inters to be at their best, because Caladre is not improving at the moment. Having said that though, Dynastics is.
Arbar is on the move.
Caladre needs a worldy final sector to take it away from Dynastics. He might do that. He has set, albeit not his personal best, he has set the fastest middle sector of anybody.
He's backed out. Interesting.
And Caladre takes pole position. What can Dynastics do? He's up on his time at the moment, and it would be enough if he can hold it. As the track drying all the time, there'll be damp patches.
Jamie's dropped it. He's checoed it.
See, if this was real F1, Dynastics would be in trouble because of those yellow flags, but as it is in the gate, Dynastics has gone as well! Doesn't improve, will start second! Dropped it at the final corner!
Trace has had an accident, he won't improve, so he's going to be down in 8th. Rosa has invalidated in 9th, but I can't see anyone beating him at the moment. Whitey Boy is currently marginally up. He will power to the line.
We've got an Alfa Romeo round on the final corner. That really disrupted Ricky's lap, but will he improve? No.
And it is just, that's it.
I think that's, yeah, that's going to be all she wrote. So Caladre then, finding his form at this point in the season.
has mixed it up just a little bit. You all know, down in 13. This is the guy, you know, dropped down from EU1, challenged Dynastics last week.
Yeah, and then you've got Perez, of course, in 19th. We would expect better from him.
Tracer's massively, well, 8th. It's going to be difficult to.
Yeah, it's.
But he has got Caladro.
He has got his teammate up at the front of the grid, taking points off Dynastics at the moment, anyway. So then, Caladre on pole with Dynastics in second place. 6/100ths of a second separate them, with Arbar in third. Dan Robber fourth. They could qualify. I think he'd be happy with that if you asked him before the race. Falk in fifth. Jamie sixth. Jonathan Cox on his return in P7. I'm sure he'll be pleased with that one. Dracer P8, as we've said. Rosa best qualifying since moving to the wheel in P9. And Tichy in 10th. Normally those guys would have to start on those tyres they qualified on, but not in wet conditions. Fallen in 11th, Wisey Boy 12th, Yorno 13th, Ricky 14th, Racer Lewis 15th, Donamo 16th, Jay Prentice 17th, Stumpy 18th, and Perez bringing up the rear in 19th.
Tricky qualifying for a couple of guys, but
yeah,
that's what the rain does. It is an equaliser, as you said. I will be expecting a lot of people. Actually, I expect hardly anyone to be using the soft tyre.
Yeah. I mean, normally you'd get 3 or 4 laps out of the soft tyre here, having qualified on it, without maybe 5. The problem isn't so much wear, it's temperature. Because you've got so many corners in such rapid succession, there's nowhere to cool the tyres down. And
it's very demanding, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, particularly the front left. So you will struggle to make the softs go much further than 5 laps.
So probably medium hard will be what we're expecting to see from everyone.
Yeah, we may get a couple of alternates.
It's a gamble, isn't it? That's the problem. Hard early safety car, that could be
an issue. If you can get the hards to lap 10, you can go medium until the end. So that's a possibility.
Don't really want to be too stopping.
No.
Traffic.
It's not ideal. Although with how safety cars are in the game now, with them being much more prevalent, it has paid off in the past for people to plan to 2-stop and work it around a safety car. I know I've done that in the past and it would have worked, but we won't go there.
Strategy, yeah. So what we're saying, strategy is very important now, especially as it's a dry race. If it's wet, then not that much of a big deal. Everyone will probably do the same.
Yeah.
They're all being well behaved, Danny.
They are. Any of you watching, you can freely press the button.
And if you are watching, predictions, obviously. Even if you're a driver, why not? See what you think. Back yourself.
Just don't miss the formation lap. That wouldn't be very good.
Have you put the formation lap on?
Yes, it is. I did it once, alright? I forgot to do it once. Look, and now it's every week. It's a formation lap on, Dan.
Make sure of these things.
See that they're all being very well behaved. Arbar's gone for it.
So Arbar's usually the signal.
Joel's in there, he says Dan, Dracer and Jay Prentice as his podium.
I think Dan would bite your hand off if you went.
Yeah. Well, so you'd know more than I would, but I would agree.
Many valuable points on the cards for those guys that have qualified.
Yes, indeed. So. So we've got all 3 compounds on show.
Wow. Okay.
Do you know, I thought this was going to be boring, but not anymore. So we've got in the top 10, we've got all 3 compounds, which is even more of a strange occurrence. So then, everybody is on mediums in the top 10, with the exceptions of Rosa and Jonathan Cox on the softs, and Dynastics in second place.
That surprises me.
He's gone for the hard, so he's going to go for the reverse strategy, which if he backs himself, which I'm sure he does.
As long as he doesn't get a safety car or a VSC in the wrong window,
Yeah.
he should be fine.
Yeah, he will be fine. Although to be fair, he can adapt his strategy much easier than the other guys can on those tyres. From any point, it would just probably compromise him on track position. Yeah, so Fallen, Wisey Boy, Yorno, Donamo, Jay Prentice and F1 Perez on mediums, Racer and Stumpy on hards, and Ricky's gone for the soft tyre. Let's watch him fly up the order as the first few laps fall away.
Gone with an aggressive strategy, it's kind of what I expect from Ricky, although he is, well, it depends where he is with Rosa. They're not split strategy. I'm sure they may be parted up.
I think they will have done, yeah. A couple more predictions are in. Noob Gamer says that Perez is going to pull something out of the bag. I wouldn't put it past him. I wouldn't, but we'll wait and see. Hilly says Caladre, Dracer and Tichy for the podium. And Racer says Falk, Caladre and Dracer going for an all Danish podium.
Oh, from Racer, surely not.
Again, another Danish podium.
I wouldn't put it far from it, to be fair.
No, I wouldn't. Get ready to go racing then at the Hungary ring. The lights will go out, we'll wait for the glitch. And instead look to the bottom right for the revs to build. As we get ready. And we're go in Hungary. Looks like a good start for Caladre then from the lead of the Grand Prix. But Dynastics has got an absolute lightning start on those hard tyres. And he's going to try up the inside. There's contact. He's going to get mugged there. Dan storms up the inside to take second place.
Yeah, that's Perez. He went so deep. Ricky and Rosa, to be careful.
Jonathan.
Yorno down the inside of turn. Oh my god, this is giving me flashbacks. Ethan, you back to back out of this one, please.
So jumping down there, Wisey Boy up 4 places off the start into P8 already, doing a great job.
Rosa's fighting back though. Look at this down the inside into the chicane. Oh, it's going to be. Can you get 2 through there? Yes, you can.
You can if you're careful.
Squeezes him out to the side. Donamo goes underneath. I think Rosa has got some front wing damage.
We'll soon find out. Let me check TAS.
Left hand side it would be. It is very visible.
Wing damage then off that first lap. We've got Falk with 12%, Rosa 31%, and Stumpy 44%.
They all tripped over each other in midfield. So.
Got a yellow in sector 3, that's Perez, who has, he spun and he now has wing damage as well, but I don't know the percentages.
Probably, well, it depends. Probably get to hard on Jonathan Cox though. Fighting well. Jonathan Cox, don't forget, started on the soft, so
yeah, he's still on though. He slung it back down the inside. Who's going to have that position? It's Jonathan Cox for the moment through turn 3. Arbar's back on the inside, side by side towards turn 4. Please no. Yeah, Arbar with the experience to know that that is not a fight he can take on and win comfortably.
You'll get him later on in the race, I feel.
Yeah.
Ricky managed to send one up around the outside in EU1, which some people may have seen over the YouTube in recent weeks. It is possible, but you've got to trust the other person that you are racing.
Yeah, you have.
Some of these guys are still new to each other.
So then, with the second lap coming to a close, let's have a look at the big winners and losers. So the biggest winner that I can see is actually Wisey Boy, up 4 places. Biggest loser is Rosa, of course, down 9. With the exception of him, it's Tichy and Falk.
He's caught the curve, he's caught the road and curve. He's
okay and gone. And Jonathan Cox looking for a move on his teammate into turn 1. And I'm surprised that I don't think they are. I think that's
it was weird, he opened the door and gave him some space and then just didn't. They are still fighting for it.
Yeah, but Jonathan Cox into 3rd now, but that's given the 2 leaders a good gap to push into.
Well, those tyres are going to go in like even 1 or 2 laps time.
They might already be there. Let's have a look. Wear's pretty good, but it'll be the temperatures, and that's something I unfortunately don't have access to. But
just need to keep in control. Ricky's up to 11. He's not made as much progress as I thought he may have done or wanted to, but a couple of places are still good. Kept it clean.
Dynastics crucially now, he's going to use Jonathan Cox to stay in touching distance with the leaders. Because if he drops out of DRS range of those 3 guys, then that could be his race done with before it's even started. In fact, he has just, but he's clipped back in but through the final corner.
Cox, by the way, has used more DRS than 2 in the front, and he's going to use DRS to try and overtake and slipstream. Dan's also got DRS, so that's going to be difficult for the Renault driver. And it's Caladre once again at the front, holding the people off the DRS train. This is very similar to a race we saw a couple of weeks ago, Danny.
It is, yeah. Yeah.
Round Southport.
That was 2 weeks, wasn't it? We had Sochi in between. Caladre leading the way.
Having to hold off a DRS train, which goes all the way back down to 8. There's a gap to Falco in P9. Whitey Boy is harassing the back of Jamie.
Yeah, that'll be the wing damage that Falk's picked up. That's going to prevent him from pushing on there. That is the danger, I suppose, with starting on anything other than the soft tyre. You've not got much wriggle room.
Side, sorry, Danny. For a second, he was going to send one down the inside of the chicane, which would have been brave, ballsy, but Ricky is going to make that thing as wide as possible.
And Wisey Boy with the penalty. Oh, Yorno back end of the car, stepping out there. And Yorno is now in the unfortunate position of being behind Ricky, who will make that Ferrari the widest thing
in existence
imaginable. Pavarotti would be slim compared to the back of that Ferrari.
Although he's got no
DRS.
He's taking his time about it.
Yeah, and Ricky will fight round the outside. He can make sure of that. But I think Yorno's got that one done. But, yeah, Ricky will tuck in behind.
I know Ricky had overtakes, but it just really struggled to draw into the back of it.
Yeah, Arba and Dracer now hunting down Dynastics, who has dropped out of DRS range.
Caladro just controlling it here. Dan just needs to know that Jonathan Cox will pit, and pretty soon, so you end up having nearly a 2-second gap potentially to.
Yeah, one of these guys in this battle here between Dynastics, Arbar and Dracer, one of them is running very, very low ride heights. You can hear the car scraping along the tarmac as they come through the low speed corners.
It looks like Dracer on the front. Just constant smoke at the back of that house.
Yeah, and Arbar's going for the move here on Dynastics, chooses to back out of it, lock up for the Renault.
And he set himself up, though.
Well, he got a poor exit from the final corner, so not sure.
Jonathan Cox picked up 3 seconds. That was through the exit at turn 11 on the previous lap, so feeling the effect of the dirty air. Close enough to mount a move, as falling is another one, so penalties will be an issue round here. Also a couple of curves that you need to be wary of, turn 5 in particular.
So they are then still behind Dynastics. Hunting him down though. Jonathan Cox crucially not making inroads to the leaders as much as he was earlier on. His tyres are now at the point where he's going to be thinking about changing them.
Remove down the inside of Fallen. Fallen fighting around the outside though. Yeah, good defending.
Yorno will have DRS of course, so it should be a relatively simple move for him, but we'll ride on board and see. both Honda power cars, and it's the AlphaTauri that takes the position.
He has pitted Danny, so he's
Yeah.
gone for the hard tyre, which is kind of as expected. They would be.
Yeah, he's going to be going for the. I'm going to the end, but if there's a safety car, I can adapt strategy. Which I wouldn't expect anything less from Ricky. Jonathan Cox, I think, has gone a lap long.
Yeah, Dynamics is brought back up, so that train's now 8 again.
Yeah, so it's. Yeah, I do. Unless he's playing the team game there and bringing Dynastics back into play.
Interesting. Be interesting. I reckon he'll come in this lap, though. It wouldn't surprise me.
He should do.
No, he stays out because he's got DRS to Dan. That's what it is. He thinks I think he's thinking is that as long as he DRS the car in front, then he's going to be okay. But he's just slowly, just slipping away.
Yeah, and it's going to start to him and his teammate. Because all the time he's losing time for Dynastics as well, and pushing him into the clutches of that Red Bull. And crucially, behind the Red Bull, the Haas of the championship leader.
Yeah, it's not like Dynastics has not got pressure from behind him. Jonathan Cox again, that's 6 seconds already, by the way, Danny, so that's interesting.
Some obvious rustiness there for him, but he is on old tyres, and they are now very worn. And they will be overheating.
It's still out there, and gap is growing ever bigger between the top 8 and the rest of the pack.
Yeah, and you can see, and Jonathan Cox lets his teammate go and then chops back in front of Arbar. That's I mean, there's gamesmanship, and then there's that. I would expect Jonathan Cox to pit, and he does. Arbar, I hope, hasn't lost too much time because of that.
Oh, he's got DRS, so he's okay. He's going to probably have to push a little bit harder on this lap. Just lost probably about 4 tenths, but all good. Dynastics 1.8 though behind.
Relatively speaking, though, that's pretty good.
It's pretty good. It is pretty good considering he's on harder compound, but he was a lot closer than that 2 laps ago. So.
Yorno tried to make a move on Falk, but Falk switched back and sat underneath him and has held the position.
Yorno's the likely guy outside the top 8 that's been looking to make a move, make progress, but stuck behind that McLaren. And Andreas, that's not going to help your situation, my friend. It's 3 seconds.
No. Let's have a look at the warnings then. Dynastics completely clean. Dan is on 2. Caladre on 1. Arbar on 1 as well. And then Andreas, of course.
Well, don't talk about it. Stop. What you've done.
Oh, I didn't do it. He did it himself. Do you know what I'm finding very interesting? I'm looking at the tyre wear figures right now. Okay. Caladre has the same amount of tyre wear, bar maybe 1 or 2%, as Dynastics does.
What's the percentage? Depends. If it's fairly low, then Dynastics will.
So their front right is 26 and 28. Front left is 22 and 24. And then it's a case of this is pretty much the same on the rears, 24, 27 and 21, 24.
Dynastics being a bit harsh on the tyres there.
I would suggest it's actually Caladre being kind on his. Every other driver, and that's an AlphaTauri.
A final corner. Meanwhile, the other AlphaTauri was good news. Finally, he's got past Falk, but he's now 4.6 seconds behind the leading pack. Slightly disadvantaging.
See what he's made of.
Meanwhile, Danny, probably more important for his race, he has come out in clean air. 6.4 seconds of clean air, in fact.
Yep, on the hard tyre as well, so he's going to the end. Yeah, so back to the tyre wear. You've got Dan in second place. His tyres are between 4 and 6% more worn than Caladre's on all 4 tyres.
Doesn't surprise me though.
No, it doesn't me either. But when you put that in perspective, everybody else is actually worse off than he is at the moment, and Dan is notoriously hard on tyres. So Caladre at the moment doing a bit of a smarto, I think.
Oh, Caladre's dropped it, Danny. Dan's in the lead. Caladre's dropped it.
He has. Caladre down to 4th place, and will we see a multi-2-1 here to allow Dracer to attack the pack?
Got to let him go. Oh, is he going to just hold him up through the middle sector? Unless he can just stick to the back of it, that's probably given Dynastics a little bit of a hurry up.
Yeah, Dynastics now. Tonama picking up 3 seconds. The sky's clouding over again.
So what, the battle for P8 down is going to be interesting. A few guys in contention. Lewis, don't forget, also on the hard tyres. So he'll be quicker in the second stint. He's down in P14 and just clinging onto the back of the guy in front.
Yep. So the pit window for the medium runners will be opening in 2 or 3 laps time. Normally you'd be looking to pit around lap 12 or 13 from starting on those tyres, but of course we had a wet qualifying, so they all had fresh sets to go at the track with. Fallen makes his way past Falk because he's in the pits.
Yeah, Falk's done pretty well there to hang it out to that time, so should be a little bit quicker than what he's showing now, albeit on the harder compound.
Jay Prentice and Tichy having a ding dong, and that's.
Oh, Danny, Ricky has jumped him.
Yeah, 4-lap undercut for Ricky, and it's paid off. Although the wing change will have helped with that, of course. Tichy manages Jay Prentice, and Caladre has managed to get ahead of Arbar through the chicane.
Arbar, I think, got a bit squirrely out on the exit. Now he's using overtake to go around there, which would be a bit brave. Andreas is looking to send it down the inside. Ooh, that was nearly a new front wing as well.
Yeah, you need to be careful going for a move into turn 12. You've got to be right alongside to even attempt it. It's
Dynastics done enough. No DRS again. I thought he's getting closer and closer. Jamie's in. So
he's the first man out of the train. He's going for the undercut. Hungary, one of the few tracks because of the strategy options where the overcut is beneficial. Just because you've got to spend more time getting the harder compound up to temperature. So Jamie will need at least 2 or 3 laps here before the rest of them pit to gain an advantage.
Jay Prentice has also done as well, so he'll get jumped by Ricky. That was 4. And Falk will just slot him behind his teammate.
I would imagine they'll probably let Falk go there. Tyres up to temperature already. Of course, you don't want to race each other too hard. Dynastics is now well in the window. I would expect to see Dan in this lap.
That wouldn't surprise me, I think.
And we've got a yellow, that's Stumpy.
It's dropped it on those warm. As the tyres wear, it's more likely Dan stays out again.
Are we going to see anybody pit? Dracer's in. Oh, so he's fed up with the traffic as well.
Exit.
Yeah, those tyres. See, Dynastics now averaging between 8 and 10% better off than Dan's tyres. That's not a massive amount.
No, and Dan's also seen the gap between himself and Caladre go up as well. That's now nearly 3 seconds back in his favour. Was behind.
Yeah, 2.6 just gone over. That's
Perez.
G round again.
Yep, and we're back on the track. It's all good. Falk goes past Jay Prentice. That was pretty easy. I don't think Jack's going to make it too difficult for him.
No.
Falk can go and attack because it meant his pit stop has meant the likes of Ricky and Dynamo have now jumped him as well, and Jamie. Obviously he passed him, but he's still ahead of him.
So riding on board with Dynastics then. Tucked in behind the Williams of Dan, who does now come into the pits.
Yep, Canledry does the same, and Arbar does the same as well. So there's Whitey Boy, and I'm expecting Yorno to follow them in as well. So all the medium guys pit.
Yep, yeah, and Yorno is in. Dynastics then now, the man who has to put the hammer down. He's got to try and make himself a gap so that he has as little work to do as possible when he puts on the medium tyre for his final stint.
See what the racer does. Oh, and Dan's been held in the pits, Danny. Oh no, he hasn't. Sorry, tell a lie. Jonathan Cox has just jumped it.
Yeah, Dracer side by side with Arbar coming down towards turn 3.
Don't tag each other, boys. That's so tight through there.
Oh, contact between the two, but it's all good. Arbar holds position. The undercut working well for Jamie, who had the extra lap. Gets ahead of all 3 of them, but not well for Dracer, who pitted a lap later. He finds himself at the back of that group of cars.
So Jonathan Cox said net lead.
Yeah.
They're all... Although Lewis is the cork in the bottle, and Lewis in fact is closing on Tichy, so hard tyres now are quicker than the mediums, as we suspected. I'm expecting Ford and Tichy to come in fairly shortly.
Yeah. And Jonathan Cox all over the back of Lewis. He's going to be feeling the pressure with Dan close behind him.
I reckon there'll be a move into turn 1 here.
There should be. Lewis holding that tight line, preventing... I think we could see maybe a double move from Dan here.
I think he's too far away.
Jonathan Cox going forward up the inside, squeezes the racing point. But Lewis is having this... Oh, Dan's gone!
No, he's alright. He's saved it. Just about saved it.
Keeps himself in the train, at least, and he's still within range for when they come round again. So careful on those cold tyres.
Dynamo and Falk side by side. Falk's going down the inside.
Dynastics on his own has picked up 2 warnings in a lap and got himself a penalty.
Dynamo's still ahead of him. Yep. Stays in front. I'll tell you what that is just getting too eager on the throttle and experience of traction.
Cold tyres as well.
Yeah, cold tyres, yeah. But more importantly, they are all still in the train.
They are?
Now, well, I would say fronted by Lewis still, because Jonathan Cox had broken that 1 second.
Yeah, Jamie the next man, and the one that I would now in prime position. It's early in the race, we're not even distance now. Here goes Jamie then into turn 1, has to come tight. Lewis will have the exit bin on the outside, so that Mercedes will have to go around the outside at 3 if he wants to make the move stick, and he's not going to have it this time.
Tell you what, I'm looking at this ERS situation. The one person that has massively favoured everyone else has just dropped a few positions, but Dan's nearly 60% compared to everyone else.
He's got Whitey Boy behind him, who he's brought back into play with his half spin. And the 2 Haas guys need Jamie to clear Lewis now.
Fullness gained a lot of time on Tichy, by the way. I know that's a battle that we're not really focusing on, but he's gained 2 or 3 seconds on Titch. And he stayed out a lap longer, so it's interesting how it plays out. You all know, meanwhile, is 2.7. He was 5 seconds off the lead of this group at one point.
He's had clean air to push into, and he's the one bridging the gap. You've got a gap behind him now to Fallen, who is the second group, and Jamie's had a shocker out of turn 12, and Caladre's taken that place away from him.
Oh, Bob will look to line him up as well.
Yep, Caladre's gone for the move on Lewis. Here comes Jamie. The Pink Panther being swallowed up. Arbar having a look as well. He's going to force it through.
Tracer's going to go.
He's not going to get the move done on Lewis, though, I don't think.
Look at this.
Lewis fighting his way back. Andreas up the inside. He's not going to have it. Needs to be careful.
Side by side with Dan.
Oh, Tracer up the inside of Lewis through turn 3. Side by side towards turn 4. Lewis backs out of it on those old tyres. He knows better.
Dan still held it around the outside of Wisey Boy. Oh, that was amazing.
So Lewis there losing 4 positions even in the space of 4 corners. And we've got a spinner that's fallen, I think.
No, it's not. It's,
is it?
Perez again.
Perez again. He's so far out of sync.
Wisey Boy going to go down the inside. Dan moves over. Wisey Boy makes the lunge. He's getting absolutely mugged by the work between the 2 racing points.
Yeah,
and look who's there. Look who's there. 2 seconds on
oh, Matt! Dynastics dropped it turn 1 with wing damage now.
Oh, massive. He can't even slow the thing down.
No, that's huge. He was on his own. He's I don't want to say it, but he's absolutely bottled it. He's lost 5 seconds there easily. That could be huge.
And he's got a pit, and you have to change the wing, so that could put him behind someone like a Ricky.
I mean, 25 seconds-ish for a pit stop. He's going to come out between Yorno and Fallen at the moment, but Fallen's closing in all the time. It could be behind Ricky, it could be behind Donamo, could be behind Falco, or even Tichy. It just depends how fast he can get back to the pits.
I was just saying Dan was getting team played by the racing points, and I didn't realise Yorno gained 2 seconds in 1 lap to catch the back of this group.
Yeah, Yorno the man on the move, and he's penalty free, so keep an eye on him towards the end of the race. Tier 2, always bringing the drama.
We thought this was boring, but the pit stops is just livening it up.
Yeah. To have wet qualifying at Hungary every year when we come here.
10 seconds, he's lost 6 seconds, he's now in the pits. Jonathan Cox leads the race by 3 seconds. He's got a 3-second lead to Caladre.
Jonathan Cox is going to come out behind Jay Prentice here. Not Jonathan, Dynastics even, sorry. He's going to come out behind Jay Prentice.
Let's have a look. There's Falk. Falk is there. Dynastics, he's still in the pits.
He's out of the box now. Jay Prentice coming down the start-finish straight. You can see him just in the corner of the screen.
He's going to be in between.
No, he's not. He's going to come out in between, but Jay Prentice is going to take it. Dynastics then from the lead, now in 16th place with it all to do.
Dan got past Lewis. Yorno's going to try and go around the outside of Lewis into turn 4. Got the move done early doors. Lewis knows he's got a long way to go to pit into mediums.
Well, it's any time now, really, isn't it? He can come in. It's entirely up to him.
Caladre bringing the gap down as well. 2.8. He's closed in.
So Caladre the net lead then, with penalties taken into account, with Jamie in 2nd place, I believe. Not quite. Not quite for Jamie. Needs to get himself a little bit closer to Jonathan Cox. Arbar, though, would be net P2 at the moment. So as it stands then, it's Jamie, Arbar, no, Caladre, Arbar, Jamie as the podium.
Yeah.
But Yorno is still in play, Dan's still in play, Wisey Boy's in play. P6 for him, that is fantastic work so far, and he's not out of place either. Normally you see him up the top of the end of the pack and he's got another stop to make. Or
and you know why he's there, don't you? It was that start, 4 places in the first couple of laps. That's helped him massively.
Yeah, definitely. Dynastics incidentally has made his way past Jay Prentice at the first time of asking, up to 15th now.
Be interesting to see how Jonathan Cox can handle the pressure. He is on older tyres compared to these guys, so towards the end of the race he will be that gap will be coming
struggling
down almost certainly.
Yeah, he has really chewed through the rubber as well. It's
but he had to, like, look, think about where he was. He had to do that to make it work.
He has, and it is working so far, and he is acting as the man to pick up the pieces that Dynastics dropped. If you're in the Haas garage right now, what are you thinking? Specifically, if you're Andreas, we've got a Ferrari off at turn 1.
Yeah, it's Roger on cold tyres, he's just come out mediums. No front wing damage, so they'll just be slightly hot. You can keep going.
Yeah, with the leaders coming up on him though, so the blue flag will be out.
As he always does. Dynastics fastest lap down, 1:16.8, so on the charge, but he's got to get through the traffic.
Just to put it in perspective then, let's have a look at the gap to the leader from Dynastics.
He's off.
Yeah, and that's another place for Dynastics. Getting lucky, that's what he needs right now. 19 seconds to the leader. Dynastics, of course, with a penalty, so he would have to make up around 24 seconds in order to get himself ahead of Caladre. But he might be able to do that in the time he has left, given the tyre deltas, but there's other cars in the way. And that will be the kicker.
Thanks, Marcel, for the follow on Streamlabs.
Oh, good man.
Chat. That's about it at the moment.
Let's have a look a little bit further back then.
Oh, yellow flag, 63, that would be...
That's Perez's, yeah, he retired in the pits. His car's just made its way back out on circuit. I think we could see a move from Dynamo on Ricky here. Could be hampered by the yellow flags though. Although having said that, it might actually be Tichy going for the move behind him. And then that's Dynastics, that's... Not quite. No movement at the front of the pack then, it's as you were for the top... Well, for the top 10. Just having a look at penalties then. Yorno is going to jump... Oh, Jamie picks up his 3 seconds. That then promotes Andreas to the podium. I think. And Wisey Boy as well. No, it doesn't. Yorno is on for a podium. At the moment.
I mean, whether he knows it or not, but...
I doubt he will, but you never know. He is on for it at the moment. It would be Caladre, Arba, Yorno, Dracer at the moment.
Thanks, Steve. Has joined the stream so far. It's about 30 you here. I'm sure the lovely people will let you know, i.e. moan at you and...
Yes, they'll shout at me. We've got a Ferrari, it's gone again. Is that Ricky? Oh, is that Rosa again? I think it's Rosa who's gone again. Yeah. Oh, Dynastics went for the dive on Dynamo and has... how neither of them two have gone out there, I don't know. I mean, Dynamo's drifted round turn 3. Dynastics has the place, but that is almost certainly a push to pass.
I didn't see it, so that'll probably be investigated at some point if Dyno feels aggrieved by the situation. But Dynastics is going to make these kind of moves. He needs to. He's outside the points at the moment. Oh, and then he runs into the back of Ricky. Ricky's not going to probably make it too easy. There you go, squeezing to the outside.
Yeah, Ricky will hold that position. He will fight it. He will fight every single inch of the racetrack if he thinks he can get an advantage. But Dynastics really going for it, and it'd be interesting to see who gets DRS here, and it's going to be the Renault.
Yep.
So Ricky now vulnerable to attack, but does have the toe. Yeah. Dynastics then up to 11th.
Jonathan Cox doing well. Caladre, actually that gap is just ever so slightly growing. And then it is business as usual. The problem is everyone is on similar amounts of ERS in that train. Oh,
yeah, that's Wisey Boy. No, he'll clip the curb.
Let's have a look. I think Dan may have had to take the voiding action.
Yeah, Yorno's got him. Still in range though, so him and Yorno can work together to get themselves back up. And crucially for the Haas boys, Dynasics did not get himself ahead of Wisey Boy in that incident.
Yeah, these two guys by about 30-40% easily, so they'll be able to just catch back up and just sit behind again, which they are already doing.
So then looking at fuel, Andreas is actually exactly on the amount of fuel he needs to be, so he's got nothing to push with.
Someone is under.
Arbar's underfueled. Jonathan Cox and Caladre both pretty close. Jamie as well. In fact, everybody within a lap apart from Falk, who has a lot of extra fuel on board.
Lewis, by the way, Danny, Lewis still out there.
Lewis is playing for the late safety car, I think, isn't he?
He's not stopped yet.
Which I can appreciate that. I did it in Zandvoort, of course, and it paid off for me. So
it would have really worked more effectively if he had no penalties as well.
How many does he have? Is it just 3? Oh, 6. Yeah, that could cause a problem.
Him, Fallen and Wisey Boy all have the same. Dynasics 3, Ricky 3, Dynamo 6. We have a yellow flag in sector 2. I'm pretty sure that's someone letting someone pass.
I think that was Dynastics, just with the back end stepping out because he's lost some time to Wisey Boy. There's nobody else, and Lewis pits in now.
So he's kind of in between, I would say.
He's going to go for softs. If he goes for mediums here, then he's gone way too far and he's compromised his own race. So
Dynastics up into the points, Danny. So and he's also got less penalties than the guys in front of him up to Dan. So
he's going to get some decent points, that's for sure. But it's not what it should have been.
Yeah, it's looking about P8 at the moment. It depends how much tyre life he's got left of those, because I would suspect he's been pushing those to the absolute limit.
I would agree with you.
Dynamo has run wide, and that was Tichy and Falk were nearby, but I didn't see it.
So, just looking back through then, the gap to the leader then for Dynasics is 17 seconds. He's made up 8 so far, which is, I mean, that is admirable in the amount of time he's done it in. That is very good.
He's just picked up another one though.
So now he's got to make another 3.
It just makes that work a little bit more difficult.
I think that is now out of reach. Even for him, that's out of reach. I mean, it was tough anyway, but...
So, he'll have to pass Whitey Boy and Fallen on track to get 8th now. And it would be very difficult to close up to 7th.
Speaking of Wisey Boy, going down the inside of Fallen, sorry for that interruption.
That's no worries. And Dan and Yorno have worked quite hard to get nearly back in the window.
If I'm Andreas though, I'm just holding station. I would doubt very much that Dynasics will catch you. You're going to get ahead of Jamie and Jonathan Cox at this point, albeit only just.
It'd be Yorno I'd be worried about. He's the one that's been on the charge actually all race, to be fair to him.
Yeah, and Yorno is going to jump Andreas unless Yorno gets a penalty, and the way he's driven so far, I don't think that's going to happen.
Meanwhile, Tichy. Oh, who was that?
That's Dynastics. Off again. Now it's definitely out of reach, and he's going to have Tichy for company.
Yeah, I just saw him just go spearing off. I was like, oh, someone's dropped it. I couldn't work out who it was. It was Dynastics. I was about to say Tichy, even if he didn't catch Dynastics, probably would have passed him anyway and would have got a point. So, Tichy would be happy
even more likely now. Dynastics mediums approaching the point of no return. And they will be very hot.
Oh, Jamie has dropped out, Danny, of the train in front, and that's the closest Andreas has been for a very long time.
Crucially though, he's still behind the Mercedes, so there is a chance for Jamie to get back in the window while we work our way around the lap.
Falk and Ricky going side by side into turn 2. Ricky will probably hang it round the outside and then down the inside. Ooh, a little bit of contact. Always gives me flashbacks through there. Yeah, Falk gets past Ricky, who is on the older tyres, so it's a slight struggle, and Yorno and Dan are back within the DRS train.
Yes, they are. Wisey Boy, the next man to call his way back to that train, but I think it'll be just too far for him in the time that remains. Meanwhile, though, Jamie has managed to get it, I think. Yeah, he has. He has.
He's not got it on my screen. It's not open either.
I can see it open on mine, unless I'm mistaken. No, he did. He got it.
Caladra and Arbar.
Yeah, those two don't need... Actually, no, they do need to fight. That is for position. But here goes Andreas around the outside of Jamie. Yorno lurking to take advantage of any mishaps.
Caladra's got no ERS there, but Arbar hasn't got it either. And is underfueled.
So we mentioned the fuel. Caladre has 0.1 of a lap extra. Arbar is dead on the limit.
Knows waiting. I know what's going to happen. He's just going to wait and pick up the pieces. That's all he has to do. He's got no penalties either.
Yeah, he's a smart cookie. Jay Prentice and Lewis battling through turn 3, and Jack's going to hold the position.
Yeah, Lewis has made advantage of those tyres. Dan gets 3 seconds, so that's going to make his job difficult to gain advantage of the guys ahead, but fortunately enough, everyone else behind him is on the same, and 10 seconds down the road, so...
Yeah, he should be okay. Oh, Caladre backstepped out through the final corner. That could cost him.
Oh, Lewis says, no, I'm going to have you through turn 12 instead. Alright, Lewis.
Good man, using his karting experience again, as we keep seeing. Those soft tyres working well for him. Caladre not close enough to make a move on the Red Bull this time around. Losing time all the way to Jonathan Cox. Oh, not quite. Jamie's in there though. He could make a move as well. Jonathan Cox now has a significant enough gap. Oh, Arbar's made a mistake and Caladre's gone through at turn 4. Andres has picked up another 3.
No! So Andres will need to do it on track. That's it now. So, but I wouldn't be taking the risk. Think how many points you're going to be gaining. It's okay. 10's not going to be what you want, but it's 9 more than you need. Dynasix is only going to get 1.
If that at the moment. There's he has 6 seconds of penalties and Tichy's only 3 behind. So
it's Falk. Falk's only got 3 seconds. So if they're close enough, then
yeah, it's. It could still all make the difference. We'll see the mettle of a couple of these drivers now.
It's going to get tasty.
Andreas had the first stranglehold. Then the power shifted to Dynastics, and then in one misplaced right foot.
So ERS with 4 laps to go is 16%, 7%, 15, 18, 6, 11 and 38. That's your top 7. So, and at the back of the train is waiting for the carnage to happen.
The thing is, he doesn't want to wait too long.
No. But
overtake is tricky.
Jonathan Cox, by the way, just...
Jonathan Cox, at the moment...
He's pulled away. They've not closed him. He's pulled away.
Jonathan Cox, at the moment, is going to finish on the podium. Yorno is 3/10 outside the window, so it could all still change. There's 7 drivers that could end up on the podium depending on what happens in these next 3.5 laps.
Someone could pick up another penalty. We don't know. We've already seen it around here. It's penalties galore up and down the grid.
Yeah. So looking at the warnings, then, Jonathan Cox has 3 to play with. Caladre and Arbar both 1 away. Jamie has 1 to play with. Dracer has 1 to play with, I think. Although he's got 5 warnings and 6 seconds of penalties, so he might have a 3 seconds for something that's other than a corner cut. Andreas,
I will have a quick look for you.
You can have a gander. It's only showing up as having 5 warnings on TAS at the moment.
Lap 9 seems to be the anomaly. lap 9 got a penalty for exceeding track limits, multiple warnings.
Yeah, they on Tassie got one on lap 31.
Wisey boys picked up another one, so that's going to help
Dynastics.
Dynastic and Fallen.
And Titch.
And Titch, so I don't know who's going to finish 8th at the moment. I think it could be Titch.
It should be Titch, I think, if everything stays as it is at the moment.
It could be a fantastic result for him. Yorno is the closest he has been. Well, I say it's the closest he's been. They've been pretty much the same for about 20 odd laps between.
Yeah,
these
it's
guys.
the DRS train doing what it does best.
The problem is the guys out the front of the train have less ERS than the guys at the back of the train. Dynastics is going through around the outside of Wisey boy. Little bit of wheel banging, but we've got through there nice and safely.
Yeah.
He will now try his best to put away with 2 laps. Oh, picks up the penalty.
But that changes everything again. So it's going to be Caladre with the win at the moment. Jonathan Cox in second place. Yorno third. Then Arba, Jamie and Dracer for 5th, 6th. And Dan holding station in 7th place.
But there's no pressure on Yorno and Caladre because they both have 2 warnings, so they've both got 1 left, so it could change on the last lap.
It could, yeah. And
1 to go, 1 to go.
Yeah.
And this will be it. They need to make the move now because they're not going to make it next time round. They won't have enough chance, so it'll be Arba on Caladre.
He's burning everything, he knows it, he's going for the move. He's on the outside, he's going to go for the switchback, I think. Yep.
He's underneath.
Caladre blocked it just enough, but Arba might sling one down the inside of turn 3. Careful, boys. And the Haas comes out on top. So it's as you were then. Jonathan Cox already through turn 5. Pulling away, 4.5 seconds now. Always close to... Dracer's close to jumping him though.
I don't want to
Oh
see
no, he's not. No, he's not. I can't do the maths quick enough, and it's only basic arithmetic.
Wisey boy's going to drop himself out of the points now after his solid drive that he's having.
He is, yeah. But Arba at the minute is backing everybody up. Look at the gap. He's dropped right away from Caladre, so he's backing everybody up.
Jonathan Cox down here rounds the corner for one last time.
And he comes across the line to win on track. Will he be able to do it? Titch picks up a penalty late on. That could be drama. Caladre takes the win at the line. Arba in 3rd. Yorno jumps up to take it. Arba will keep 4th. Jamie 5th. Dracer 6th. And Dan 7th. Dynastics then. What should have been a great day for him comes across the line in 8th. Wisey boy in 9th. Fallen will jump ahead. Titchy, after taking that penalty, he wouldn't have done it anyway.
Each fallen by 8,000
so the second to P9, and then we head down to the back of the pack for Jay Prentice, Don Armo, and Rosa.
Let's have a quick look. No point for fastest lap. Race Lewis stole that on the.
He did, yep. 16.557 for Lewis in P14. As we see Roz across the line. And finally Don Amo, P16 for him.
And fastest lap, I think, at the end.
Yep, took that. Wow. Drama indeed. That was something special. And we have ourselves, I think. Did Yorno get a podium last week? I know we didn't do interviews, but I can't.
Yes,
he did. So one man who's got his first podium in Jonathan Cox, having been away. I know he was He's a little bit apprehensive about coming back tonight. As much as he likes the circuit, he's I'm sure he'll be very pleased with that one. So Caladre then with his second contest of speed victory. Jonathan Cox in second place, first time on the podium. Yorno in third place to get himself in there. Having qualified 13th, that would be a very satisfactory result indeed. Arbar in fourth, Jamie fifth, Dracer P6. That late penalty costing him what would have been fourth place. Could be all up in the air come the final day. Dan in P7, Dynastics P8 after that spin, well, and subsequent off. That's cost him dearly in terms of championship points. Tichy in P9 to pick up some points, and Fallen gets the final championship point. Falk in 11th, Wisey Boy 12th, Ricky 13th, Lewis 14th, Jay Prentice 15th, Donamo 16th with the fastest lap, a 16.150. Rosa 17th, and your two DNFs, F1 Perez and Stumpy. So I adjust my mic audio as per.
Give me a second.
If you can do the honours.
The share button doesn't want to do anything. Come on. Find the people.
Excellent. Can you be a very good friend and start the interviews whilst I go and relieve myself, because I am crippled here.
No, you go and apply for it.
You swine.
I don't care.
Well, I'm going anyway, so you'll have to tell them to wait.
Oh, lovely.
Sorry, everybody. Nature calls.
There's one. We shall wait for the other two. There's two. Oh, and I need to invite. I think we invited the wrong person. That's not good stuff. I went default. I invited Dynastics, so I just went default. That's terrible. Give me a second. Got to find the third victim to come and join us to have a chat.
Right, sorry everyone.
So I've got to invite you all. I went to default. I invited Dynastics. I'm sorry. It's not my fault.
You fool! Has he joined? Has he joined?
He hasn't. No, it's a force of habit.
Shame. I would have liked to ask him some questions. So then, here let's start with our race winner then, Caladre. 2 wins now.
Yeah.
Happy?
I'm very happy. I didn't expect to win today, so yeah, I'm very happy about that.
Stuff. So obviously qualified on pole. Managed to keep Dynastics behind off the start. Was there any sort of team play you were doing with Andreas, or was it all just I'm going for it?
Well, unfortunately he was not there today, so not much team play for me. Yeah, so it was just focusing on myself tonight.
Fair play. But, yeah, did a good job. Managed to keep yourself penalty free, of course, which eventually got you the win. But how many laps was it that you had 2 warnings? It's most of
I
the
think I
latter
got my
half, right?
second warning on like lap 13 or something. I
It was
got
like
them pretty
21,
early.
21 laps he's done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I was just driving very carefully in the, I don't know what turn it was, the left turn up the hill, just
yeah.
making sure not to corner cut the inside or go too wide on the outside.
So it must. We were watching, and there was you and Arbar both in a similar situation, but he managed to pick one up with 2 laps to go.
I think he got one when we battled in like the second last lap, I think.
No, I think he had it before that. Actually, might have been just before, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, he might have.
Yeah. But no, good job, mate. Congratulations, another win under your belt.
Yeah, it seems like once I stepped on the podium, I never stepped down again. So I hope to keep it going as long as I'm possible to do so.
Well, fingers crossed, anyway. So good points for Haas, good points for you. Well done. Hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Thank you.
Right, who do we go to next?
Should we go Yorno first? Because he missed one last week.
Yeah, go on then. Yorno.
He's over one.
Good evening, guys.
Hey, well played. That was impressive. P13 to P3.
Yeah, I'm actually shocked about that. Yeah, qualifying was just really bad. I had a good lap in the last run, but I had some problems with my pedals, I think. So I have to check that after the race. But yeah, just invalidated, and the first run counted, so it was P13, and from there on, yeah, I knew mediums hard was the fastest strategy, but of course with the rain you could start on the mediums. So yeah, I had to use a lot of ERS in the opening laps, and never managed to get it back actually. And yeah, I just overtook some people, and yeah, from there onwards it was the same story as Kayadre. I had 2 warnings in the first 10 or 15 laps, and from then onwards I was seeing that the other guys were having penalties, so I just stick with them and keep close and not get that 3-second time penalty.
Yeah. So well, we're keeping an eye on you, and obviously you were the man on the move, but there was some impressive speed at one point where you managed to bridge a gap. I think it was about 8 seconds. To the train in front in 2 or 3 laps, which...
Yeah, the pace was really good actually. I didn't do a single lap of practice, so I was kind of shocked. Yeah, I think if my qualifying was just better, like P5 or 7, maybe I could be P2 or P1, but that was such a big train, like P1 to 7, all the way from lap 1 to lap 35, so yeah, I don't think it would have mattered, but maybe.
Who knows? But hopefully next time you'll have a better result. Not that P3's bad, of course, but
no, especially
you never know.
on a track where you can't overtake it.
Yeah.
Normally, so I'm quite happy with it.
Yeah, and so you should be, mate. It's a great drive. But, well done on P3.
Thanks, guys.
Hopefully we'll see you soon. Right then. The man who returned at the last minute. The man who wasn't sure he would he'd be on the pace. Jonathan Cox, how are you feeling, mate?
Good evening. Feel great.
Yeah.
I would be as well.
Yeah.
I haven't turned up for a few weeks and gone, oh yeah, won the race pretty much on track. But
Yeah. Yeah. Walked it, mate.
Yeah, I was really gutted. When I got the first 2 penalties, there were 2 crucial, stupid mistakes, but I quit after that, and I managed to get P. GG to the rest of the podium guys as well. Great race, great pace, well done.
Yeah, so we were watching all the way through, of course, and then we saw Dynastics drop it on the exit of turn 1. Were you talking to him at all, or were you separate? So I was, I was going to ask if at that point you felt any responsibility to carry the standard for Renault at all, but that's if you knew he dropped it, of course.
I'll listen to the stream, so I knew right away. I don't know how we dropped it, but credit to him for coming back through the field.
Yeah, I say he managed to fight back to get P8, having been down in P16 coming out of the pits, so he did a good job.
Did a good job.
Yeah.
Points for the team as well. So.
Yeah.
Good night all around.
Yeah, definitely. But especially for you, enjoy your podium. I hope we can see you back in the car more often now. Especially now that you're getting some good results. So well done, mate, P2. And I'm overruling what anybody else says. You're my driver of the day tonight. So great job. That is where we will call it for tonight, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you have, make sure you hit the follow button on Twitch, or if you're feeling very generous, you can subscribe to us. If you're watching this back later on YouTube, make sure you hit subscribe there and like the video. It does help. Something about algorithms, it helps. If you want to support Cos in a more financial manner, you can do so if you head over to our shop. That's contestofspeed.live/merch. You can pick yourself up something nice or something for a loved one for Christmas. See, I'm adapting my plugs every week.
Oh, for God's sake.
You can tune in later tonight. AM2 will be doing their race at Hungary that they missed in the last couple of weeks, and then you can tune in tomorrow for AM1 and EU1 as well. There will be the second half of the EU3 EU4 special race on Thursday, and then we'll be back to normal competition next week from Suzuka. We hope you can join us then. Thank you all again very much for watching. Good night.